Hello there, Larry Richardson here again. This video is a result of what happened in El Paso and Dayton, Ohio. Uh, 3.5 days ago, there was a horrific shooting in El Paso in a Walmart. Then about 12 hours later, there was a shooting outside of a bar in Dayton, Ohio. And both of those events triggered videos by me, and I hope you watch them. I was new at the time that I made the second video after the Dayton event. I knew I was going to be making this video, but I wasn't really sure when or what it was going to contain. I wanted to watch for a day or two and see what was going on, see what happened, and then make this video. I knew that the left, the progressives, the Democrats, however you want to put it, I knew they were going to use these two horrific events as excuses to push for their gun control ideas. What I didn't know or didn't expect was that President Trump and many Republicans were going to jump onto their, quote, red flag bandwagon. The red flag legislation, depending on how it's worded, is going to be a, quote, legal way. Well, I'm not say quote because I haven't heard anybody else put this in words yet. It's going to be a legal way for people to get law enforcement to disarm people that they claim they're afraid of. And it could be people they just don't like. What it does is it's going to allow people to make complaints to law enforcement that there's somebody out there that is behaving badly and they're afraid that they're going to be a danger to society because these people have guns and they might use those guns to do something like in El Paso or in Dayton. And then the police are going to have the authority to go and take those people's guns away, and they're going to call this legislation they're creating the due process. There's going to be necessary to take those guns away. The legislation claims it's going to have a provision where those people get their guns back if they turn out not to be a danger to society. But all of that is very subjective determinations that are going to be made. I don't want to get into a long red flag video here. What I want to get into is a video about what keeps happening time after time after time in the United States. We see legislation passed and we see things happen in our society that just creep in, and a little bit of bad here, a little bit of bad there, and some people blow the whistle and say, oh, this is a slippery slope. If we let this in, then the next thing you know is they're going to be doing that, and it's going to get worse and worse and worse and worse. You know, kind of like the gay marriage. If we let men marry men, then it's going to get worse. They're going to want men to marry two men, or men to marry three men and one woman. Or now there's even people that want to get legislation to allow men and women to marry animals. And now we see that they've already got things in place and legislation in place in our laws where it's hate speech if you speak against some of these people's death styles that they choose to live. We've got states where it's against the law for parents, for even their young children who claim that they don't understand whether they're boys or girls yet. It's against the law for parents of those children to get counseling for those kids so they can help them figure out who they are. See, those slippery slope things that people keep warning the country about, invariably the slippery slope idea turns out to be the truth. Turns out to be what actually happens as we keep sliding further and further and further down into debauchery in our country in many areas. Now, in so many areas, the bad things are already so entrenched within our legal system and within our accepted culture, by and large, even within the church structure in most churches in our country. It's going to be extremely difficult to get those things out of our system and then to undo the damage they've already done to the natural family, etc., etc. And those things have to be done. If we want to save our country, we have to get those things reversed, and we have to undo the damage that's already been done. And all of those efforts that are ongoing, I encourage those involved to keep at it, keep plugging on, keep doing, because we've got to get it done. We've got to change our monetary system, etc. Now, there is one aspect of what's happening in our country that I want to talk to you about for a minute, and that is the incursion of Sharia into our society. We have some Islamists in this country that it is their purpose in life to instill Sharia into our way of life. And they're going to start doing it by putting it into our legal system a little bit by little bit. They're going to do it by encouraging judges to use Sharia as a basis for making rulings when it concerns defendants who are Muslims, etc. And it's already happening. Things like that have already taken place in our country. Thank God we are not to the point where they have it instilled into our legal and justice system to the degree that the LGBT alphabet movement, etc., have already done. But you know what that means? That means that now is the time to do something about it, before they get that much entrenched, before they get that deeply involved in our official life here in the States. Now is the time to stop Sharia. Now is the time to force our politicians to look at the problem and find a solution to do something about it so it doesn't happen with Sharia like it happened with the other things. It's only going to be more and more difficult as time goes by to get rid of Sharia out of our country if we don't do it now. I know some of you get upset because I keep bugging you about this on these videos. I hope I make you mad as hell. Get mad at me. That's fine. Just get mad enough to do something about it. Go to www.ourstab.com and at least get your name on the list so it'll make our list one number longer, one number stronger, so our voice will be a little louder when we talk to politicians and news media. Have a good day.